What's up everyone, I'm Nikhil from Grady Tech, and in this video I'll be unboxing the Infinix S4 and giving you a quick hands-on review. So guys, here's the box. On the front it simply says Infinix S4 and at the bottom it says 32 megapixel AI selfie camera. Now this S series especially stands out for their selfie cameras, and most of their S series phones do have a pretty good front-facing camera. So we can expect the same thing from even this phone. So this is how the box looks on the front. On the sides it simply says S4 and S4 on the right side as well. On the back it is the most highlighting features like the 32 megapixel camera, XOS 4000 mAh battery, triple camera setup and so on. I'll be talking about all these stuff in a minute. Now with that said, let's quickly unbox it. By the way guys, I've just reviewed the Infinix Smart 3 Plus and I'll be doing a giveaway of that phone as well. So check out that video and participate in the giveaway to get an Infinix Smart 3 Plus for free. Just like all the previous Infinix phones, even this phone will be sold exclusively online on Flipkart. I don't know the final pricing, but on the box it's priced at 9,999, but it should be selling at somewhere around 8,000 rupees. I'll let you know more details in the description. Now this phone will be available only in one variant with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage, probably in two colors, black and blue, and we have the Nebula blue color. So guys, once we open the box, at the top we have the phone itself. So this is the phone in the Nebula blue color. Let me just peel off the sticker. And this is how the phone looks on the back. It looks pretty similar to Redmi Note 7 in terms of finish, but it has this dual tone finish on the back and definitely looks much cooler than the Redmi Note 7. Now this phone will be a primary competition for the Redmi 7 and the Redmi Y3, especially because of the front facing camera. And purely in terms of looks, it definitely looks better than the Redmi Y3 and 7. Now it also has a sticker on the front. We'll come back to it in a minute. Let's check out the other contents of the box. So next we have a regular micro USB charging cable. Nothing's impressive over there. Next we have a 10 watts power adapter, 5 volts at 2 amps, and following that is a SIM card ejector. Next we have some documentation. It says X Club and service care information and user manual, which we won't be looking at. Next we have a soft silicone pouch, truly transparent and pretty flexible. And finally, a free screen guard inside the box. So guys, these are all the contents of the box. We don't have any free earphones, so you have to get them separately. Now let's look at the phone. So guys, this is the phone. On the front it has the sticker with the most highlighting features: 32 megapixel front facing camera, 6.2-inch display, triple camera setup, and it even says 2.5D curved glass on the front and back. Well, it's not that impressive anyway. So guys, this is how the phone looks on the front and this is how the phone looks on the back. Now let's have a quick physical overview and then check out the complete specifications. Now on the back, this phone has a 2.5D curved glass, probably not from Corning, but still looks pretty good. I'm not sure if it's glass or fiberglass, but it's a fingerprint magnet and doesn't feel all that slippery for some reason. At least not as of now. Anyway, at the top it is a triple camera setup with a 13 megapixel primary camera followed by an 8 megapixel secondary camera and a 2 megapixel third camera, probably used for depth sensing. I'm still not sure if it has a wide angle camera or a low light camera, just like the Infinix Smart 3 Plus. We'll know more about it once we turn on the phone. Anyway, following the triple camera setup, it has a quad LED flash and an engraving saying AI triple camera. Beside that, it has a fingerprint scanner with a nice matte finish, Infinix branding, and at the bottom it simply has the letter S followed by designed by Infinix. Now on the front, this phone has a massive 6.2-inch IPS TFT display with HD plus resolution in the 19:9 aspect ratio with the water drop notch. Now inside this notch, it has a 32 megapixel front-facing camera with f2.0 aperture, and above that it has the earpiece. At the bottom it is completely plain and the chin looks kinda big. Now coming to the sides, on the right side you get the power and volume buttons made of metal and they have a nice clicky feel to them. At the top it is completely plain. On the left side you get the SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot. At the bottom you get the mono speaker grill followed by a micro USB charging port, primary microphone and a 3.5mm audio jack. Now coming to the rest of the specifications. Under the hood, this phone sports a Helio P22 processor with PowerVR GE8320 GPU built using 12nm architecture with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage. It will be running a skinned version of Android called XOS 5.0 based on Android 9.0, that's Android Pie. And finally, this phone is powered by a 4000 mAh battery, just like the Redmi 7, Redmi Y3 and the Redmi Note 7, which are all in the same price segment. But honestly guys, considering this phone has a massive battery, phone still feels pretty lightweight, and because of the new aspect ratio, phone fits pretty comfortably in a single hand. So guys, now let me turn on the phone and see what we get right out of the box. So guys, this is how the phone looks with the case on. It has all the cutouts at the bottom and It even has this slightly raised lip for the camera module. So with the case on, even if you place your phone directly on its back, it's not gonna damage your camera. So that's a pretty cool thing. And even the cutout for the fingerprint scanner is pretty good. It's much more easily accessible now, and it even has a slightly raised lip on the front, but it isn't that big. So I would suggest you to keep your phone directly on its face. By the way guys, as I've said, this phone also comes with a free screen guard, so better apply it as soon as possible. Now with that said, I've already set up the phone, I've configured everything and even changed the wallpaper. Now this is your default launcher, and on the left side you have something like a smart assistant with different widgets. And if you swipe up, you can access your app drawer. Now it does come with a bit of bloatware, and you can uninstall any of these applications that you might not use. So just uninstall them and you're good to go. Now out of that 3 GB of RAM, you get about 1400 MB of free RAM right out of the box. Now let's check the storage. And out of that 32 GB of storage, we get about 23 GB of space for our user apps and user data, which is definitely more than sufficient for all the regular people, even if you're installing games, as this phone also comes with a dedicated SD card slot. Now this is the about page. This phone is running a custom skin version of Android called XOS based on Android 9.0. That's Android Pie. It even has the April security patch, so that's pretty latest and pretty good. Now for a very quick preview of the overall user interface, this, as I've said, is your home launcher, and these are all your applications. I've just installed one application, that's the wallpaper changer, and besides that, everything is all pre-installed. So I must say it does come with quite a bit of bloatware. Now for the rest of the UI elements, this is your recent apps page. Nothing special, it looks exactly like your regular Android Pie, and these are your notification toggles. There is no dark mode or night mode on this phone, at least I couldn't find it, but right out of the box you do get a dark theme, so that's pretty cool, and for some reason it only applies to the toggles. Still, I like it. Now this is the settings page, and you get some pretty cool features over here. Like you have smart panel, so this bar over here you can swipe it from the right side to access the smart panel, and you have some quick shortcuts, a shortcut to take a screenshot, some shortcuts for quick applications, like you can instantly open Chrome with a click of a button. In the same way, we can also start recording the video and do all crazy stuff like that. So that's start panel, and if you go to system navigation, we get all the options for different style of buttons. These are your regular buttons, and you can rearrange the back and recent apps button by just a click of a button. And you have gesture navigation, where you can swipe from the right side to go back. You can swipe from the center to go home. You can swipe from the left side for recent apps, just like Vivo and Samsung phones. Now going back, we also have Android Pie based gesture, that's mixed navigation. Now you just get two buttons, the back button is the regular one and the home button is the regular home button. But now you can swipe on the home button to go to the recent apps page, and you can swipe on the home button left side to switch between applications. Okay, for some reason it's not working. Okay, it's working now. I've tried to use this navigation bar on the Infinix Smart 3 Plus, but it wasn't that responsive, so I would suggest you to go with the gestures or your regular navigation bar. So I'll just go with the default settings. Now going on next, this is the interface for the rear camera, and by default it is an AI camera. There is no option to disable it, at least I couldn't find it right now. Now you can swipe left right to change between different modes. You can only record video in 1080p resolution. You can change the resolution from over here, and to switch to the wide angle camera, that's the extra camera on the back, you have a toggle over here. So the 8 megapixel secondary camera on this phone is a wide angle camera, and it probably has some 120-degree field of view. So that's the difference. I'll show you some sample pictures later, so let's just move on. Next we have a dedicated beauty mode even for the rear camera. Next we have a bokeh mode, which is a portrait mode for the rear camera. And finally AR shot, which adds stickers to your face. Now this is the interface for the front facing camera, and those are the stickers. Now this is the portrait mode or portrait selfie. Next we have beauty mode for the front camera, and by the way guys, this phone comes with a 32 megapixel front facing camera, and just from initial impressions, camera looks pretty impressive. Like, I'm pretty sure Redmi Y3 doesn't come anywhere close to this camera. So the front camera on this phone is definitely pretty good. And for front camera video recording, once again we can record video in 1080p resolution. So guys, this is the camera interface, and these are some sample pictures. Now let's test the speaker loudness.
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays.
Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech, and in this video I'll be reviewing the Infinix Smart 3 Plus after 3 weeks. By the way guys, I'll be giving away this phone, so stay tuned till the end to know more details. So guys, speaker loudness on this phone is pretty good. It's definitely not the loudest speaker out there, but it's sufficient for media consumption, ringtones and alarms. So for regular usage, it shouldn't be a problem. Now as you have seen while watching videos on YouTube, you can do a pin gesture to go full screen. That's a pretty good thing. But now on this phone we have the option to hide the notch. If you hate the notch, you can hide it, but there is no option to make apps go full screen. Like if the app is compatible, it will go full screen because of the new 19:9 aspect ratio, but for some games and even MX Player, it's not able to use the entire display. So that's a bit of a con, and maybe with a future update that can be fixed. Now going on next, let's test the fingerprint scanner and face unlock features. I've already set it up, so let's start with fingerprint scanner. So here we go. Now the phone is turned off. As you can see, fingerprint scanner is pretty fast, like it's almost instantaneous. Not the fastest in the world, or probably not the fastest in the price segment, but it is definitely pretty fast. Now let's test face unlock, and there you go. Once again, it's fast but not super fast. It's taking like half a second, I guess. And this is like a good lighting condition. Now I'm going to turn off some lights. Now this is like a low lighting condition, and even in low lighting conditions it is pretty fast, almost as fast as well lit conditions. So that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to turn off all the lights and see if it works. Now this phone has a feature which automatically increases the display brightness to use face unlock, and it seems to be working pretty well. So even in low lighting conditions, face unlock is working, but it's probably slow by a second or two. It's once again still manageable. So guys, that was face unlock. Now before I conclude, these are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. So guys, this is the new Infinix S4. This is the new lineup in the selfie series, and I don't know about the rear cameras, but the front camera is definitely the best in the price segment. So guys, if you're looking for a phone with the best front-facing camera under 10,000 rupees, then you can definitely consider this phone. Just so you know, OS optimization on this phone is also pretty good. Like, I've not used this phone, but all the previous Infinix phones I've used have pretty good software optimization, and they do get regular software and security updates, so that's a pretty great thing. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video or have a question, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter, and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech signing off. Have a nice day.